welcome to this video of 9th Standard English Unit 4, the poem Spider and the Fly, written by Mary Botham Howitt. It says that this particular poem was written to educate the children about the realities of the natural world. It is a cautionary tale about the innocent and the gullible, which means cheat. Now, let's move to the author introduction. Mary Botham Howitt, 1799 to 1888, was an English poet. She was born at Culford in Gloucestershire. She was educated at home and read widely. She commenced writing verses at a very early age. Together with her husband, William Howitt, she wrote over 180 books. Let us start the poem The Spider and the Fly from the first stanza. "Will you walk into my parlor?" said the spider to the fly. "'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair. I have many curious things to show when you are there." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly. "To ask me isn't vain, for who goes up your winding stair can never come down again. I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high. Will you rest upon my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. "There are pretty curtains drawn around. The sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest well, I'll snugly tuck you in." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "for I have often heard it said, they never ever wake again who sleep upon your bed." Said the cunning spider to the fly, "Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I have always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome. Will you please to take a slice?" "Oh, no, no," said the little fly. "Kind sir, that cannot be. I have heard what is in your pantry, and I do not wish to see." "Sweet creature," said the spider, "you are witty and you are wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings! How brilliant are your eyes! I have a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you will step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself." "I thank you, gentle sir," she said, "for what you are pleased to say, and bidding you good morning now, I'll call another day." The spider turned him round about and went into his den, for well he knew the silly fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner sly, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then he came out of his door again, and merrily did sing, "Come hither, hither, pretty fly, with a pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, the crest upon your head. Your eyes are like a diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead." Alas, alas, how very soon the silly little fly, hearing his willy flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then nearer and nearer drew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. Poor foolish thing! At last up jumped the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast. He dragged her up his winding stair into his dismal den within his little parlor, but she never came out again. And now, dear little children, who may this story read to idle, silly, flattering words, I pray you never give heed unto an evil counselor, close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. Let's start the summary of this poem. The poem begins with the spider's pursuit of the fly. He chats to the fly to come into its home. The spider describes his parlor as the prettiest one. The spider kindles the curiosity of the fly so that she may enter his home. Fortunately, the fly was witty and refused to get into his home. The spider pretends to be a host and asks her to come and rest in his home. He offers her food and bed to rest. This time also the fly declines the spider's offer very politely. The next weapon that the spider uses is flattery. The spider praises the wings and eyes of the fly and also praises her wisdom. He invites her to look at herself in the mirror, which is in his parlor. The fly is tempted by the words of the spider and she falls a prey to her flattery. Figures of speech. Consonants. Repetition of similar consonant sound in the neighboring words. It is used to refer to the repetition of sounds at the end of the word, but also refers to repeated sounds in the middle of a word. For example, "'tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy." Repetition of the T and T sounds. Consonants. Repetition of similar vowel sounds in the neighboring words. For example, "'tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you did spy." Repetition of the I sounds. Repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of the words. Here in these lines you can see sweet, spider, witty, wise or alliterated words. Anaphora. Repetition of a word or a phrase at the beginning of a sequence of sentences, paragraphs and lines. In this example, the two lines are started with how. Anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism means to endue a non-human character with the human traits and behavior. For example, throughout the poem, we see the spider and the fly behave like human beings. We see a pantry, bed, mirror, and stairs, and so on. Thanks for watching, children. I hope you understood and enjoyed this poem. Once again, thank you, children.